Hi guys, Mr. Hind here again. Welcome back to my channel. This episode is the first in a series examining ancient Greek sculpture, and today we'll be in the Sanctuary of Apollo at Delphi, analysing a statue known as the Delphic Charioteer. This bronze statue clearly depicts a charioteer stood on top of his chariot drawn by 4 horses. It is commissioned by a Sicilian ruler known as Polysalus of Gela to celebrate a victory in chariot racing during the Pythian Games either 478 or 474 BC. The charioteer himself wouldn't have been Polysalus, he owned the team, but the rider would have been somebody else. As we see with the statue here in the game, there's a lot going on in this group statue. We have a rider, a chariot, 4 horses, and over here we have an attendant bringing along another horse. However, all we have surviving to us today is just the charioteer holding his reins, with a few horse legs and bits of chariot. Accordingly, as we look at the statue today, it's not as impressive as the original would have been, and this highlights the problem of viewing art out of context. It's also worth pointing out that the game exaggerates the statue a little. It was only 1.8 metres tall, so it's not quite the over life-size figure that we have shown here. One of the first things I should highlight is that this is a bronze piece cast in the early classical period. Although it's not the first Greek bronze in existence, it's a marked difference from the earlier koroi, which was sculpted not that long before. Casting in bronze has allowed the sculptor to experiment with pose and anatomy, such as the raised arms holding the reins, which is a clear difference from the full frontal rigidity of the earlier koroi. Those of you on the OCR Greek art module should be aware that this is the first Greek bronze that you come across. Onto the stance and anatomy of the statue, and we're first of all drawn to how he is standing. It's an asymmetrical statue, and we can see this more clearly on the original. The feet point forwards, the upper body is turned slightly to the right, and his head turns even more to the right. This creates a gentle spiral in the statue. His feet are particularly impressive. Remember, this is a group statue, and as we look at it here, we can't even see the feet. Nevertheless, finer details have been sculpted with great care. For example, although not seen, the feet have been sculpted with toenails, going to show the huge amount of attention to detail on the statue. His facial expression is also noteworthy. Gone are the days of the archaic smile, now we have instead an example of what we call severe style. This is the moment after this charioteer has won his race. This is supposed to be a glorious, victorious image. However, interestingly, the severe style prevents any ostentatious display of triumph. Modesty and humility is what we're focusing on. He's able to control his emotion and appears rather stoic instead. While we've got him in this view, it's also worth talking about his hair as well. The artist hasn't totally moved away from a stylized representation of hair that we see earlier with koroi with their didalic bead-like hair. Here we have perfect curls of hair, which is unrealistic because it's meant to be more variety and more variation, but the sculptor is attempting at least an idealized form of realism. Finally, it's also worth talking about his drapery. Those of you on the OCR Greek art module should be aware that this is one of the very few draped male figures that you come across. The tunic that he's wearing is called a zictus. This is a typical charioteer's tunic, and it has these straps around his shoulders which prevent the tunic blowing away in the wind. There are a number of folds, and they're uneven, so they're not formulaic or unrealistic. This is especially seen around the straps, around his chest and shoulders. The bottom half of the statue is more column-like. We have these folds going straight down from the belt all the way down to his feet, which help draw the statue out and make it appear longer, while the folds above the belt are particularly impressive as there's more variety going on there, and they vary in depth and width. So that concludes the highlights of this statue. Thank you very much for checking out the video. Please remember to like and subscribe.